Hi, on Cooking Easy with Keitha today, we're going to make a homemade gingerbread. And to start with, you're going to want to make sure you have some blackstrap molasses. You can have regular molasses. I prefer the blackstrap because it's healthier. You get a lot more iron. But if you don't want that strong of flavor, then just get some Stein's syrup or grandma's molasses, something like that, and it's a little bit smoother. So to begin with, what you're going to do is you're going to take your mixer, whether it be a stand mixer or a regular hand mixer, in a big bowl. You're going to add 3 eggs, and you're going to have 3/4 of a cup of packed brown sugar. It can be light brown or dark brown, it doesn't matter, but you need to pack it tight to make sure you get the quantity of sugar that you're supposed to have for this recipe. Okay, and let me grab my whisk attachment. I'm working backwards with this. I usually come at it from the front, so bear with me. Okay, so and you start to incorporate that together. Preheat your oven for 350 and put a couple of cups of water on to boil, because you're going to need a cup of hot boiling water at the very end of this recipe. So go ahead and get that going while you're mixing everything up so it'll be ready on time. Now that our sugar and our eggs are mixed up, we're going to add 3/4 a cup of just regular old vegetable oil. And in a pinch, if you don't have vegetable oil, you can melt down shortening or you can use olive oil. It doesn't change the flavor any. Canola, any of those will work. Okay, so now your oil is in there, and you're going to want to turn that down so you can hear. You're going to want to take your molasses and make 3/4 of a cup. And molasses kind of takes a long time to fill up your cup. That's the term, slow as molasses. This is why. I do the oil first, the molasses second, because the oil coats the cup and helps the molasses to fall out into your recipe. So it's a good order to go in. And we wait. And it doesn't matter if you go a little bit over 3/4 of a cup. It will make. Turn your molasses bottle around like that so it won't drip down the side, because it's really, really sticky and kind of hard to deal with. Pour that in. And see that oil that was in your cup helps to pull all that molasses down. And there you go. If you don't get it all out, don't worry. You're going to use the same cup to do your hot water, and that will bring the rest of the molasses down. So incorporate that. And then we're going to add our flour to our mixture. This is 2½ cups of flour. This can be all-purpose, or it can be bread flour. Today I'm using bread flour because that's what I have on hand. So there you go. There's 2½ cups of flour. We're through with our molasses. And now we're on to our soda. So I've got baking powder and soda out here. We're using soda right now. Don't get these mixed up. Okay, so for the soda, you want 2 teaspoons. And for the baking powder, you want just 1/2 teaspoon. This is really important not to mix those up. Make sure that looks right. Yeah, that's right. Okay, move that all to the side. Ginger, ground ginger. You want 2 teaspoons, and I hate when they're not big enough for your teaspoons to fit in. So just flick out a couple of teaspoons of your ginger. Sometimes it gets all balled up. That makes the 1. So here's number 2. Ginger is really good for your system. It really is very good for your stomach. So when we used to be stomach sick at home, for whatever reason, or stay home from school, my grandma would make gingerbread because that would be her excuse. It was healthy for us at the time. Okay, so your ginger's in there. And now we're gonna take our cinnamon. And we're gonna add a teaspoon and a half. So just eyeball it. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is a spicy gingerbread. This isn't like cake or spice cake that you might get on a buffet line at a restaurant. This is kind of strong. It's a southern corn gingerbread that my grandmother had the recipe for a long, long time ago. And when we flooded, I lost the recipe. But luckily, somebody took a picture of it and sent it to me. So this is allspice. This is a spice that's got like cloves and everything all mixed together. So I tend to keep it on hand for sweet potato pies or for apple pies and things like that. It works out better than trying to put a whole bunch of different spices together. So you want a half a teaspoon of allspice. Throw that in there. And now we come to the boiling water. We're going to mix this until it's incorporated. We're going to get a 9 by 13 pan. And you're going to try not to drop the oil. Spray the pan really well, sides included. Just like that. Pick that up a notch. And we are about incorporated right now. Okay, you can kind of see how thick that batter is. This is so much fun trying to get this off. Okay. So the batter's kind of thick because we haven't put the water in yet. So knock off as much excess of the batter as you can. See, it will be the egg and stuff will be stuck to the bottom of your whisk. So there you go. Hot water. Watch it all, dog. I have a helper in the kitchen all the time. Okay, so we're going to put a cup of hot water into your batter. And that pulled out all the rest of the molasses. Turn that to the stove. Take a rubber spatula and gently mix that hot water into your cake batter. I don't know how many of y'all have dogs at home that live inside the house. We do. And you never know when they're going to pop up, when they're going to go walking across your screen. But I trust that no one minds. Okay, so now as you watch me pour this in, you'll see how different the batter looks. It's a whole lot more wet than it was. So scrape off everything from the bottom. And there we go. Now we're going to put this into the oven for about 30 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes. You'll just be able to tell yourself as it gets done. It will pull away from the sides. Put that in there, and we'll be back in a little bit. Okay, we're back. It's been about 26 minutes. I got about a minute left on my timer there. But I think we're about done. So like I said, you can kind of tell from the sides. It pulls away just a hair and feels nice and firm to the touch. So I would recommend, waiting a little bit before you cut it, but since we're on camera, I'm gonna go ahead and cut a piece and butter it so you can see what it looks like. There it is. You can serve this hot with butter or with whipping cream. It's perfect with both. And there you go.